Why, hello, everybody. It's Soul. It is September 28th, 2018. This is Warcraft Weekly, and today's episode is brought to you by Jesse D, international goldmaker, smuggler, and a tour guide. Call Jesse D if you want to take a trip to awesome. Bob is on site at whatever the heck background that I felt like putting him in. Bob, how you doing today, dude?
I'm doing good. And hey, I want to congratulate you for getting a media badge for BlizzCon.
Hey, thanks, dude. Yeah, I guess it's an honor. I mean, it's the first time that I tried going for one, and I feel a little special.
Yeah, you should be. So congratulations. Now all the commenters that call you a Blizzard shill, they're right. Sellout, cuck, totally getting those Blizzard checks.
Yes, thanks, and no thanks, I suppose. But yes, I was able to get a media badge. I think it's a really cool and awesome thing, and it also means that I'm going to have another not free ticket, but I'm going to have another BlizzCon ticket available. That's on top of the 2 dinner tickets that I had bought, and, well, I'm going to provide some details in the next couple days or weeks as soon as I get some confirmation on how this whole process is going to work, and then I'm going to make my other tickets available to sell. So I would like to say that this week's news is pretty light and actually mostly positive. It's just that there are some pretty considerable efforts in part of some folks out there in the WoW community to turn these things around and make them into like
the worst thing ever.
Not to say that things are nice and rosy here in the World of Warcraft space, but, well, I'll try to get to it and maybe you'll get what I'm talking about. Recently, a gentleman by the name of Adam received quite a bit of attention from both the Blizzard and the World of Warcraft community. Adam is the developer of some add-on. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's called Dibum. I never heard of Dibum until right now. I'm like, dude, what's Dibum?
Deadly boss mods, idiot.
I'm trying to be funny.
You're not.
Nah. Adam has been going through a number of personal and I guess technical hardships, and it led him to post on Reddit kind of an open letter detailing some of his problems and an announcement that he would need to pull back from Mythic Raiding while he was still going to continue developing the add-on. In an absolutely massive outpouring of support, people have come from the community up and down. Blizzard teamed up with MSI to send him a fantastic package, a new desktop, a super signed version of the Battle for Azeroth expansion, and a bunch of other goodies. This is one of those really feel-good moments where the community comes together to help out one of its own.
The second wing for the Rainfinder version of Uldir opened up, swallowing thousands upon thousands of players in Zul's trash. It was awesome. Really, really, awesome. On the Mythic Raiding side, 16 Horde guilds have made it to the Hall of Fame. And on the Alliance side, 2. Yay! This gives the players who are interested in cross-realm Mythic Raiding the opportunity to shoot themselves in the head, because they won't be able to play with their cross-realm buddies or make tons of gold until the end of the expansion.
As a reminder, according to these new changes, there needs to be 100 guilds that fill up the Hall of Fame per faction in order to unlock cross-realm Mythic Raiding. We can take this information and spin it or speculate all we want, from tuning and balance to Azerite traits to the interest in Mythic Raiding. So I'm pretty interested in how this is going to progress over time. I have no doubt that with certain nerfs and the weekly kind of soft nerf to content that goes on with the internal raid stuff, as well as building up your Azerite neck thingamajigger, there is going to be a slow but short accelerated rate until we fill out this Hall of Fame. The question remains though, what's going to happen first? Will the Hall of Fame be filled out with 100 Horde and Alliance guilds? Here's a clue, it's probably going to be the Horde first. Or will we get well into the next tier of content, which makes it even a longer wait than it was previously? In the World of Warcraft subreddit, deep beneath the memes and the posting, a user posted their limited research into island adventures or island expeditions, and just how is it that stuff drops. This is all theoretical, but according to this poster, the drop rate of stuff is dependent on the mobs that you kill, and not exactly just a total random chance or how fast you complete the island adventure. I looked into it myself between this post and the recent hotfixes that allowed more stuff to drop from island expeditions, and I was like, I ain't getting nothing, dude. I was killing hella stuff 4 or 5 rares per adventure, and I think I got like one thing, like one piece of gear and one pet.
Ooh.
So even if this is true, it doesn't make me feel that much better, but if anything, that Reddit poster did succeed in making me run a lot of island adventures. So how about you folks at home, or
The denizens of the throne.
get anything good? Let me know in the comment below so you can make me mad. Thanks. You might be a little bit familiar with this name, RexTroy.
I'm not.
Just work with me here, okay? RexTroy is not your typical World of Warcraft player. He is kind of a tester through and through, exploring things that are busted in the World of Warcraft and very responsibly reports them. And then, dubiously, once he knows that those potential bugs or exploits have been addressed and fixed, then he posts a video about, well, how he messed around with those bugs. This included being darn near invincible against raid bosses, pretty much one-shotting raid bosses, as well as decimating players out in the open world. Due to a miscommunication on Blizzard's side, it appears that someone from Blizzard had seen one of these RexTroy videos, saw it and was like, hey, this person is doing bad stuff, let's ban this person. Fortunately, that was overturned very quickly once it was realized that the video in question was revealing certain bugs that were already fixed, and this was just a way to show them off. This happens to illuminate precedent where it is perfectly okay to show videos of these weird and crazy bugs as long as you have addressed those with Blizzard and that those things were fixed. It's an example of responsible bug reporting / showing off and trying to have fun. This is in direct contrast to the forum poster that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, the one that talked about exploiting world quests for reputation and rewards, even though that turned out to be fake, but it turned out to be real as well. That's a good example of irresponsible bug reporting. Actually, I don't think he did report the bug. Over on the World of Warcraft official forums, Josh Allen, aka Lore, is figuratively taking a bunch of bullets to the chest for his company. He's out there initiating the conversation on Azerite gear and all the critiques, the valid critiques about the system. Because the way I see it, Lore, as one of the faces of Blizzard, is out there attempting to engage and soak in as much valid feedback as he can, knowing that a lot of this feedback is going to come in the form of catchphrases and memes and whatever the heck is the most upvoted comment. What makes this almost cringeworthy to watch is that when Laura's trying to make a statement or a reply back to one of these people, he's pretty much spouting off the same talking points that have gone on during the recent AMA, the recent Q&A, and so on. So effectively, Laura doesn't have a lot of responses to give to many of these questions. I kind of feel sorry for him, even though this is his job to engage as best as he can. What sucks is that this is video game development, where a fix can take days, weeks or so to implement, but it only takes a few moments for some forum poster to take a look at something, judge it, and post it on Reddit. One other example of this was the 8.1 PTR that was deployed, even though the realms aren't up and running yet. The data mined information gave the impression that taunts were going to get a huge nerf, that whenever you taunt, you no longer generated extra threat during the duration of that taunt. As it turns out, all it was a tooltip change, and yet the community, the tank community, was in an uproar. Well, okay, not me, because I was like, but people were totally pissed.
Oh my god, tanking is over. Ah!
Until it was clarified. Lore looked into it, asked around. It took a couple days, but then he clarified the information and that was that. It's one of those many situations where you gotta take it with a grain of salt. Sure, you're seeing something in a line of text, but how is it in game? Because quite literally, realms aren't working right now. This week we got more information on BlizzCon and the virtual ticket. This year's rewards include a faction-based cape and a deployable banner to land on the corpses of your enemies. This was announced by Ian Hazzikostas and J. Allen Brack in a pre-recorded, almost cringe-worthy kind of scripted announcement. But wait, J. Allen Brack, that means something. Remember, this is the face of the guy that vilified the idea of Classic WoW, and then announced Classic WoW. And now he's back, talking about, well, pancakes. I mean, Classic WoW. Pancakes. A very significant and a welcome update from J. Allen Brack revealed that Classic WoW is going to be playable on the BlizzCon floor and for any virtual ticket holder. On November 2nd, shortly after the opening ceremonies, Blizzard will launch World of Warcraft Classic as a sort of demo. And it's probably going to go down because a lot of people are going to try to get in on it, and yeah, all the realms are going to get jacked in. Well, there's the classic experience, folks. I find this to be incredibly significant. As a typical BlizzCon attendee, I had kind of like, the collar popping privilege to go play test things that no one else would be able to play test for many months. For example, pretty much every WoW expansion that has come out, they've had little play tests, and I was like, okay, cool, I can do this before everyone else, haha. But now the virtual ticket is getting folks like you so much closer to the action and able to do these sorts of play tests that weren't possible before. So that pretty much wraps up this week's developments, and well, there's a lot of cool things to talk about. Except for the fact that, well, there's a lot of negativity that's taken a lot of these announcements and reveals and stuff and has just dragged it all down to, well, depths unknown. Going back to a number of these news items, it's kind of depressing when I glance at a couple of comments saying that the support for Adam and DBM by Blizzard is nothing more than a PR move. That the nerf to taunt really was going to be a nerf to taunt until they got all this blowback from the tanking community, and Lord decided, okay, let me do this bit of misdirection because they'll never know the realms weren't up, haha. That Josh Allen is totally out of touch with the community, that he doesn't know what he's talking about, that he's just spouting the same nonsense that's being said over the past couple of weeks, and that he's always saying sorry. It is definitely not everyone that thinks this way, but those who do and those who are especially loud about it, it is kind of embarrassing to see things in such a negative light that you can't even acknowledge that Blizzard or that some of its community managers are just trying. From my observations, I feel like this has really been punctuated this week by the virtual ticket reveals. There have been quite a few people that asked me about it, like, hey, what do you think? Do you think these are worth it? Are you going to get it? Do you think it is a spit in people's faces that the virtual ticket is more expensive than it was last year and yet people are getting less? But while there is quite a bit to say about it, it all really sums up to a very simple thought process. If the virtual ticket has a product that you like, if there's a good delivery of products and services, then you'll get it. And if it doesn't have a good delivery of products or services, then you don't. That's it. There isn't any smart-ass analogy that's needed. It's just, is it cool? Does it interest you? No? All right. You just saved $50. For me, it is hard to give a good perspective. I go to BlizzCon. I paid for BlizzCon. Hell, this year, I'm being invited kind of to BlizzCon. However, if I didn't get that media badge, if I wasn't going to BlizzCon, then no, I wouldn't have gotten the virtual ticket this year or last year. I already have a 2-seater mount. I like it. It's fine. I'm not that big on esports. I wouldn't say that I am super enthused about watching like the cosplay contests. Most of the panel information I can get from places like MMO Champion or Wowhead. But that's it. I'm simply not the target market for the virtual ticket. And that's totally fine. Where I take issue is the assertion from these critics of the virtual ticket that it needs to have a mount, it needs to have a pet, and things that would get you to buy this virtual ticket, even though that's not the whole point of the virtual ticket. Last year's virtual ticket included a mount. It's pretty cool. But what was the mount that we had before that? It was the big Blizzard bear from, I think 10 years ago? Hashtag Rocket Bear. So at worst, my criticism of the virtual ticket is that they started selling it before they revealed everything that would come with it. Now granted, I do believe that you should buy the virtual ticket if you are interested in the content of the virtual ticket that you know of. There is no additional reward for impulse buying. You can buy the virtual ticket all between now and the start of BlizzCon. As soon as you feel that, yes, I'm going to throw down for this. I mean, that's really it. There's no far-ranging conspiracy like, oh my god, why are they charging $10 more? Because maybe they can get away with it. That's probably why. And I've seen it said a number of times from a number of different outlets and channels and forums about,
gosh, we're paying $50 to play Classic WoW?
As I talked about the virtual ticket earlier, no, you're not. Until this year, Playtesting at BlizzCon was a BlizzCon thing. It was something that was only for attendees. I'm just speculating here, but I'm pretty confident that when it came to the earlier playtests that were only available at BlizzCon, pretty much every other WoW expansion that has come out before its release, that they didn't want to make that available for everybody at home and on the toilet, mostly because of data mining. I don't think it's a good idea to spoil that much that early in the development process. Meanwhile, this year, it's WoW Classic. We know everything about this damn game already. So data mine the crap out of it. I'm sure there's going to be some revealing and new things about it, but nothing spoilery, obviously. And I'll try to drive this point again that the virtual ticket is blurring the lines between an attendee that goes to BlizzCon versus one that just attends from home. They want to bring that experience to more people, and that doesn't mean raising the capacity or moving to a bigger venue. I think this is very, very cool, even for people like me who aren't really interested in playing WoW Classic. It's a chance to take the BlizzCon experience home. What's wrong with that? You might think this is some sort of capitalist conspiracy, a way for Blizzard to gouge money out of you. But what I see is a strange situation where people want to spend $40 to $50 on what's basically nothing more than a mount. And yet the week before, certain other people, maybe the same people, they don't want to pay for game time, even though it came with a free mount. A little bit hard to explain, so I would love to hear your thoughts about this and anything else that happened this week in a comment below. So let's wrap things up, and I know that while this week's news has been permeated with this bit of negativity, you might have noticed that this week it was more like about game design and development. You know, basically I tried to side skirt some of this stuff. I'd like to think that I had some pretty snazzy ideas on player housing and guild halls that I put out over the past 2 weeks, and you can look forward to next week when I do this again. I'm going to talk about emissaries and world quests, and I'm going to kind of sort of address and bring up a possible idea that would get people interested and get people a little excited about world quests. So look forward to that and a little bit more Bob.
I didn't get much airtime.
Whatever. And hopefully some PTR coverage in case we get a build, or if we can even get them up and running. As for you folks, I love hearing from you, so leave a comment below. Let me know how your week was. Drop by the stream every now and then. Say hi. And if you could please like this video if you enjoyed yourself, subscribe to the channel so I can keep giving you more of this and all things Warcraft. I'll see you next week for some more shenanigans, and lastly, thank you for making it to the end. I'll see you around. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.